The school heartthrob dropped $100 bill, and I quickly stepped on it with my foot. Then I pretended to sit down casually. He noticed something was off and sat beside me staring. We sat there from day till night, neither willing to back down. The next day rumors spread throughout the school that we were dating. Before I could even deny it, the school bully and the head cheerleader couldn't sit still. They each came to find me separately. Head cheerleader, let me be blunt, I like the school heartthrob. How much will it take for you to break up with him? Is $1 million enough? The school bully, what is so great about that poor guy? Date me instead, and I'll give you my family as villa. One, stop sleeping, wake up already. I was still stubbornly chasing after that $100 bill in my dream when I heard a classmate calling me. In the dream, the school heartthrob finally left, and I was just about to pick up the money. I ended up being woken up. Ugh, my luck is terrible. I changed my position and continued sleeping on the desk trying to pick up where the dream left off. I'm exhausted. Didn't he sleep at all last night? Let me sleep a bit more. Wake me when the teacher comes. A different voice said. Still sleeping? Your relationship with the school heartthrob is so high profile the whole school knows about it. Aren't you afraid the teachers will come for you? I jolted upright from my near-death slumber. What? Who am I dating? By then 3 to 5 classmates had already gathered around my desk. They were looking at me with the expression of gossip, hungry onlookers. I grabbed one of them by the arm and shook her vigorously. Say something. 1T, you say something already. She was nearly shaken apart by me and pulled her arm away in disgust. Alright, stop pretending. Spill it. When did you start cozying up to the school heartthrob? I swear to heaven I didn't cozy up to anyone. Then when did you start dating? We never dated. Cross my heart and hope to die. Yesterday at the library I happened to spot a $100 bill on the ground. My eyes instantly lit up and my heart started racing. My dopamine levels were skyrocketing. But with people coming and going at the library entrance, it wasn't appropriate to just bend down and pick it up. I cleverly stepped on it with my foot, then pretended to sit down and surveyed my surroundings. I'm such a clever little devil. Just as I was secretly congratulating myself, I noticed a handsome guy stopping in his tracks. He was patting his pockets while staring at my feet. Then he gave me a complicated look. I guiltily shuffled my feet, trying my best not to let the money show. As a result, my movement caught his attention, and he simply sat down beside me. That's when I realized this handsome guy was actually Samuel, the school heartthrob. At first, no one realized how serious the situation would become. Everyone thought it was just an ordinary sit-down, until we sat from day into night. Only then did I realize this was actually a marathon. A full 10 hours. I'm starving. Is he a devil or something? How can he not be afraid of hunger? 2 ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. But then again, this totally sounds like something you do. Ha ha ha. The classmates gathered around me nearly laughed themselves silly after hearing my story. You're all laughing at me. I pouted pitifully, putting on a spoiled act. They received my coquettish display and solemnly revoked my privilege to act spoiled. Stop being so dramatic. So, who ended up keeping that $100? I straightened my expression. I know you're curious, but hold your horses. Help me figure this out. What should I do now with all those admirers of the school heartthrob if rumors spread about us? 1T, I become a target of jealousy. Oh my, I'm so pretty. Could I possibly become a target of school bullying? What should I do? How can I clear this up? Someone rolls their eyes at me. Seriously, sis, with that mouth of yours that could talk a dead man back to life, who dare bully you? Oh, right before I even get a chance to debunk the rumors. As it turned out, the school belle and the school bully were the first to lose their composure. The first person to seek me out was Elizabeth, the school belle. So you're Clara. Her tone was icy and hostile, clearly here for trouble. They say this girl is a rich second-generation heiress, always surrounded by a bunch of bootlickers. Seriously, what's there to fawn over? She's just a spoiled rich kid. No backbone. Just then she pulled out her phone and started fiddling with it. I thought to myself, oh no, is she calling for backup? Am I really about to get bullied? Adhering to the principle that clarity leads to peace, I nodded as obediently as possible. Yes, I'm Clara. She kept scrolling through her phone without even glancing at me, putting on a tough girl act. I heard you're dating Samuel. Let me cut to the chase. I like Samuel. Whether he agrees or not is his business, but you can't date him. Noi. Shut up, did I say you could speak? She cut me off. Ugh, why is she so domineering? 1T, even let someone finish a sentence. I'm not happy. What kind of crappy school beauty is this? She's not even that pretty. Stupid school. What kind of taste is this? Before I could even voice my displeasure, the school beauty spoke again. Class is about to start, and my time is limited. Just tell me how much money it would take for you to break up with him. 50,000. Me WH, what H, how much? The school beauty frowned, clearly displeased. Is $1 million enough? I hate being threatened. Take the money and break up with him today. With that, $1 million was instantly transferred to my account. I stood frozen in place for 3 full seconds. The CPU almost overheated. Luckily, I reacted quickly and spoke up before the school beauty could get angry. Does that mean as long as I don't date Samuel, this money is mine? Duh. The school beauty impatiently put away her phone. Can you do that? I was so excited that I immediately nodded. Yes, absolutely, definitely, without a doubt. At this point, I was practically ready to tear out my heart to show the school beauty. She seemed to sense my determination, and her expression looked fairly satisfied. But I still felt uneasy, asking tentatively with my whole face, how about you make some other demand? Just name it. Any rude or perverted request, I can do it. Like streaking or maybe kneeling to kowtow to you or something. Otherwise, I really can't accept this $1 million, with a clear conscience. The school beauty looked at me like I was an idiot. I really don't know what Samuel sees in you. Sis, from now on you're my real sister. I promise there's no way he'll ever like me in the future. Sis, let me perform a free subject 3 dance for you, no charge, just to show my admiration for you. After saying that, I started dancing with exaggerated arm swings and hip shakes. She gave me a disdainful glance that looks awful. Or I could do some hype shouting for you, like those viral tourism promotion chants. My surname S Dong from Great Shandong. The school beauty covered her ears to interrupt me. Everyone is talking about Gigi Bang. Now how come you're completely out of the loop? Gigi Bang, what does that mean? I asked like a confused fairy. But the school beauty didn't answer my question, turning around and leaving immediately. Well, I'll be damned, you really don't say. The school belle is truly beautiful with impeccable taste. What's more, she's always up to date with the latest trends. No wonder she's the school belle. I eagerly called after her retreating figure. Sis, take your time, just let me know if you need someone to fetch meals or run errands. I'll be at your beck and call anytime. Just then a classmate passing by sneered at me, pathetic simp. I lifted my chin proudly and retorted, so, what if I'm a simp? I'm happy simping for the school belle. That night, I was so excited I couldn't sleep a wink. I kept counting the zeros on the back of my bank card over and over. Am I a millionaire now? This is too surreal. I still can't quite believe all of this. Thank you, school hunk. Thank you, $100 bill. The next day I arrived at school with dark circles under my eyes, and before I could even enter the classroom, the school bully stopped me at the door. He pinned me against the wall, his voice trembling with anger. Clara, it gave me a start. After recognizing him, I heaved a sigh of relief and shoved the person in front of me away. Jesus Christ, you scared me to death. Alexander, are you trying to kill me? I thought you were someone else. Alexander, the school's notorious bully, was in my class 8, the bottom-ranked class. By the way, both the school heartthrob and the most popular girl are in class 1. But actually I haven't had much interaction with Alexander. After all, I sit in the front row while he's in the very back. But thanks to my outgoing personality, I get along pretty well in our class and can chat with almost every classmate. Alexander's expression was grave, his eyes even holding a trace of childish grievance. He stubbornly refused to move aside. Are you dating Samuel? Why? Not this again. I'm a bit confused. Who is this school bully here for? Could it be that he has a crush on the head cheerleader? Thinking of the school beauty, I couldn't help but smile and blurt out, because of money, the school bully. What money does that poor kid Samuel have? Is he richer than me? I suddenly didn't know how to explain. In a moment of brain freeze, I blurted out, even if you're rich, it's none of my business. Alexander, unwilling to back down, raised his voice. Who says it's none of your business? If you date me, I can give you that villa by our school gate. This outburst instantly drew the attention of our classmates. The worst part was these classmates kept stirring the pot without caring about the consequences. Wow, so Alexander has a crush on Clara. The school bully and the heartthrob are actually love rivals. Clara, who will you choose? I was completely dumbfounded. Alexander likes me. When did this happen? I had no idea. Alexander looked at me as if no one else was around. Clara, speak up. Is this doable or not? Just then the school heartthrob Samuel actually showed up, but his face was slightly angry, and he came charging toward us with fists raised, as if there were some irreconcilable hatred between them. The fist was about to come down. In the nick of time, Alexander swiftly stepped in front of me and sternly shouted, Samuel, what do you think you're doing? The fist veered away from us and landed squarely on the head of another bespectacled boy standing beside me. One punch was nearly enough to knock the guy senseless. Why hit me? The guy yelled, clutching his head. Samuel's fist didn't stop there. He grabbed the glasses-wearing boy and kept pounding. Who told you to spread rumors which I of yours saw Clara pregnant with my child? Which I saw me forcing her to get an abortion. I don't even know Clara. We've never dated. How could we possibly have a child together? You can slander me all you want since I'm a guy, but how dare you ruin a girl's reputation like this? The other person retorted, I saw her at the hospital just the other day. Only then did I understand what was going on. So the school heartthrob wasn't actually trying to beat me up. That scared me to death. Turns out it was just a false alarm. But then I thought again, wait, that's not right. What, I got pregnant and had an abortion? Where is he spreading rumors about me having an abortion? I went crazy. How could this rumor be allowed to spread? What if the school beauty hears this and gets the wrong idea? A classmate beside me kindly took out their phone to show me in our grade S group chat. This person said last night that you're pregnant with Samuel's child and he's forcing you to get an abortion. They said the two of you sat in front of the library the night before last talking about it all evening. The group chat even included a photo of us sitting there together. In the picture, Samuel and I both wore grave expressions, neither willing to back down. This mind-boggling gossip paired with these photos somehow managed to look 3 parts believable. Damn it, last night, I was too busy counting the money to even glance at the grade group chat. Who knew such an outrageous rumor would spread? Fight, go all out. The school heartthrob and I formed an alliance, also raising our fists against the bespectacled guy. Alexander also got fired up and turned to join our united front. Thus it became 3 of us beating up one guy. Though beating up might be an exaggeration, after all, I didn't dare hit too hard. But the scene was truly chaotic at this moment. Not far away, the school belle, Elizabeth, arrived fashionably late. After hearing the onlookers' jumbled accounts of what had happened, the school belle also joined the fray. Well, now it's 4 against 1. Oh ho, this glasses-wearing nobody is nothing to worry about. Total victory. 6. This is outrageous. Absolutely disgraceful. The top 2 students in the grade actually leading the bullying of classmates. Are you 2 trying to imitate those troublemakers and become shit stirrers too? The homeroom teacher of class 1 angrily slammed the desk. The top student in the grade is Samuel. Second place goes to Elizabeth. As for me and Alexander, the first guests were the shit stirrers. Ahem, our homeroom teacher also yelled. Alexander, you skip class every day, and your grades are at the bottom. Now you've grown bold enough to start fights too. When will you ever give me a break? But to me she spoke with heartfelt disappointment. And you, Clara, you'll be the death of me. Do you not understand your own situation? How dare you get into a fight? Do you have a death wish? I stuffed my bleeding nose with tissue paper. Lowering my head in shame, Alexander protested, unfairly, teacher, you're biased. Clara's grades aren't great either, and she skips class often. Why aren't you scolding her? Still talking back? I'll slap you silly. The homeroom teacher was furious, taking off his shoe ready to hit someone. But in the end, reason held back his raised hand. Alexander protested. It was that the spectacled guy who started the indecent rumor first. He deserved that beating. Besides, we knew our limits. He only got some minor scrapes. Clara even got a nosebleed from his beating. The homeroom teacher scolded. You think you can decide what counts as minor injuries? Only a doctor's examination can determine that. Before long, the parents arrived. Samuel's father, Elizabeth's mother, Alexander's dad, and my grandmother. My child, how could you be beaten like this? Teacher, you must stand up for us. The bespectacled boy's parents chimed in as well. The teacher responded with slight apology. Parents, please rest assured we will definitely investigate the entire incident thoroughly and deal with it seriously. You four go stand outside as punishment. We were driven out while the parents remained inside to discuss the matter. School bell, I'm so sorry for dragging you into this. The first thing I did after getting out was apologize to our sponsor, the school bell. But at this moment the school bell was brimming with excitement and answered irrelevantly. I pretty much pieced together what happened during that fight just now. So you and Samuel weren't actually dating that day. It was all over a measly $100. The school heartthrob corrected. It was $100, not just some measly $100. The head cheerleader beamed. That's not important. What matters is you two weren't dating. Haha, this is perfect. The school bully Alexander was grinning foolishly too. Yeah, the important thing is you weren't together. Hurrah. The two of them laughed harder and harder, almost attracting the teacher's attention. It was Samuel and I who stopped them with sharp glares. So, who ended up getting the $100? Yeah, who got it? The school beauty and Alexander cast clear gazes in our direction. Samuel and I exchanged glances, both too embarrassed to lower our heads. Ahem, speaking of which brings tears to my eyes. That wasn't a $100 bill at all, but an anti-fraud flyer disguised as one. Samuel's money wasn't lost either, he just couldn't find it. The whole thing was actually just a big misunderstanding. Haha, this is hilarious. It turned out to be anti-fraud flyers. Haha, you two are so silly. They started laughing at us again. Yet human sorrows and joys are never truly shared. I felt like crying. Not only had the $100 slipped away, but the million I'd just gotten yesterday was about to vanish too. But with things having come to this, I had no choice but to willingly let go. School bell, I'm sorry I shouldn't have been so heartless as to accept your 1 million yesterday. Actually, I wanted to confess to you at first yesterday, but it's all my fault for never having seen so much money before. The moment I heard the transfer notification, I lost the courage to speak what was on the tip of my tongue. I'll transfer it back to you as soon as I return to the classroom. I secretly brought my phone, but standing outside the teacher's office, I didn't dare take it out. The school bell waved her hand dismissively. No need. It's not your fault. I was the one who gave it to you in a hurry. When has this young lady ever asked for money back after giving it? Are you trying to humiliate me? How am I supposed to maintain my reputation at school? I could hardly believe my ears. $1 million and you're just giving it up. The school bell shrugged it off. It's just $1 million since I gave it to you. Just take it peacefully. Consider it my good deed for the day. I was so moved, I nearly cried. Immediately I clung to her leg. Sis, you're truly my own sister. From now on, just give me your orders, whether it's climbing a mountain of swords or crossing a sea of flames. I'll spare no effort, even if it costs me my life. Samuel gave me a somewhat disdainful look. The school beauty thought for a moment. Actually, there is something I need help with. Ignoring everyone else, I immediately perked up with full attention. What does it tell me? The school bell hesitated for a moment. Oh, forget it. Let us talk about it another day. Alexander got a little excited. Clara, you're this happy over $1 million. If I really give you the villa, can we start dating? No way, I refused righteously. The $1 million was breakup compensation. The villa was a dating gift. The meanings of the two are completely different. I may be greedy for money, but I'm not so desperate as to sell myself. Besides, $1 million is more than enough. Alexander frowned, his face full of grievance. Why, what's wrong with me? Why don't you like me? I scratched my head, unsure how to respond. As for whether I like him or not, how could I possibly explain that clearly? Besides, he is the young master of a wealthy family. I'm not even in his league. Let us focus on how to handle the fight situation first. Samuel interrupted us, steering the conversation back on track. At the mention of this, the four immediately deflated. The bespectacled male student who got beaten up was examined at the hospital and indeed had no serious injuries, just superficial wounds. The incident was triggered by his spreading rumors in the first place. Moreover, Alexander and Elizabeth's parents had a good attitude and deep pockets, offering compensation that left the other party quite satisfied. The matter was quickly resolved satisfactorily. But since all four of us were involved, logically the compensation should be split equally among our families. When Grandma heard the agreed compensation amount, her eyes instantly clouded over. Her gaunt, withered face was etched with panic. Hunched over, she stood there at a loss. I hurried forward to support her, pulling Grandma aside to whisper, "Don't worry, we don't have to pay for this. He got beaten up because he spread rumors about me, so I can be exempt from punishment." Grandma looked pleasantly surprised yet somewhat incredulous. Really? It's true we're the victims here, and the teacher knows our family situation while the school will definitely give us special consideration. Grandma finally seemed relieved. Then I'll go thank the teacher. I've already expressed our gratitude. Right now, with other parents around, it wouldn't be appropriate for you to approach the teacher, I reassured her. Grandma nodded with sudden understanding. Right, that makes sense. I lied to Grandma. Since I had the $1 million given by the school beauty, I could cover the compensation myself. With the remaining money, I first paid off all the debts accumulated over the years. Then, I deposited a portion under Grandma's name. I also bought her a commercial pension insurance that would send her a fixed amount every month. After arranging everything, I was left panting from exhaustion. In the meantime, my nose started bleeding again. It took more than half a roll of toilet paper to stop the bleeding. Size so young, yet more fragile than a college student. But for some reason, I slept exceptionally soundly that night. At noon in the cafeteria, the four of us gathered together again. Alexander asked me, Clara, why won't you date me? Do you really not like me? Won't you reconsider? What's there to reconsider? I'm practically a dead woman walking. No way I deconsider it, but I shouldn't say it like that. I grinned sheepishly at Alexander. Not my type. Alexander's expression visibly fell. I didn't dare look at him, and quickly changed the subject. By the way, school beauty, you mentioned needing help with something the other day. What was it about? Elizabeth took a big bite of braised pork. Stop calling me school beauty all the time. It sounds so distant. All right, Elizabeth. Call me Elizabeth. Okay. Elizabeth, go ahead and tell me. Samuel laughed at me, while Alexander rolled his eyes at me. Elizabeth said, I've noticed my dad acting really strange lately. He has been sneaking around making phone calls, and I found a maternity store business card and a woman's lipstick in his bag. I think my mom might be getting cheated on. I want to find out who that other woman is. Alexander bluntly stated, not only is your mom being cheated on, but you probably have a half-brother too. Samuel coughed. You're being so direct. Alexander admitted frankly, well, that's just how it is. But then his tone shifted, tinged with melancholy. Though it doesn't matter anymore, I'm about to have two such brothers soon. One was brought by that vixen, same age as me, no blood relation to my dad, yet he bullies me at home every day, competing with me over everything. The other one is still in the fox spirit's belly, about to be born soon. The old man said the checkup showed it's a boy. That old man had a child late in life, and he is so overjoyed spoiling that little vixen rotten, I tell you. Now, no matter what I say, he doesn't believe me. The vixen Alexander was talking about was his stepmother. Rumor has it that his father had an affair 10 years ago. Later, the mistress made a scene to force her way into the family, and Alexander's mother, heartbroken, divorced and moved abroad. No one knows whether his father wouldn't let him go or his mother didn't want him. In any case, Alexander never saw his mother again after the divorce. Just like me, I never saw my parents again either. 10. We all looked at Alexander with pity. I said, it's okay, you still have us. Samuel, yeah, you've got us. Elizabeth, we can help you deal with your stepmother. I nodded firmly, yes, I can. Alexander waved his hand, wiping the corner of his reddened eyes as he turned his head, then resumed his usual carefree demeanor. What's the big deal? This young master has grown up, now long past caring about such things. The four of them exchanged glances, unsure what to say. Why is the adult world so complicated? Elizabeth sighed again and said, I'm also afraid my dad might become like this. She grabbed my hand as if clinging to hope. So, Clara, please help me follow my dad and see what's really going on, okay? All right, I nodded firmly. Taking someone's money means helping them out of trouble. I'm willing to go through fire and water for this. Alexander raised his hand. This young master is coming too. I can't stand homewreckers. Samuel quickly followed. I'm coming along as well. For justice, he added. And thus the justice squad was formed. No time to waste, we decided to follow Elizabeth's dad that weekend. Following the address Elizabeth gave us, we staked out early in front of her father's office building. As a result, Elizabeth came along too. What are you doing here? What if your dad finds out? Samuel asked her. I came to see, Elizabeth said with interest. Then Samuel, are you worried about me? Hee. I knew you liked me, you just wouldn't admit it yourself. Samuel's ears flushed red instantly, and he finally stammered out. Not at all, I'm just worried you'll come and mess things up. Elizabeth pouted. How could that be when I step in? One of me is worth two of anyone else. Alexander, never one to hold his tongue, chimed in. At the worst possible moment, big sis, your dad knows you'll definitely get spotted if you stay here. I tugged at Alexander's sleeve and tried to smooth things over. It's fine, Elizabeth can just hide in a corner and not come out. That's right, I just want to go out, Elizabeth agreed. He coming out. Samuel was the first to spot the target. 11. My gaze shifted following Samuel's words. What came into view was a middle-aged man and woman walking slowly towards us from across the way. The man wrapped his arm around the woman's waist, not forgetting to give her buttocks a greasy squeeze in the process. The woman nestled into his embrace with evident enjoyment. The key detail: the woman was heavily pregnant, her belly clearly showing at least 6 or 7 months of gestation. Elizabeth was furious, rolling up her sleeves as she prepared to charge outside. Damn, he really cheated. How shameless. That woman's belly is already so big. How could that social climbing jerk betray my mom? Just wait till I tear that cheating couple apart. Fortunately, Samuel reacted quickly and grabbed her. Don't go out there. Alexander also tried to calm her. Right, you stay hidden first, don't alert them. The three of us will follow them and make sure we get solid evidence of the affair. With that, he instinctively glanced toward Elizabeth's father. The glance proved disastrous. Upon recognizing the person across from him, Alexander suddenly became both shocked and furious. Damn it, the woman seducing your dad is that vixen from my family. Samuel was utterly confused. Which vixen? I was stunned too. Isn't that vixen from his family actually his stepmother? Did his stepmother have an affair with Elizabeth's father? Everything's gone topsy-turvy. The whole world's turned upside down. Alexander rushed out. Neither Samuel nor I could stop him. You damn couple, I'll beat you to death. You vixen, not satisfied with ruining my family, now you're going after someone else's. Alexander shouted, clenching his fists, ready to strike. His stepmother's face clearly showed panic when she saw Alexander. Elizabeth's father quickly shielded the woman behind him. She dodged a punch. Elizabeth's father raised his hand to counterattack. You brat, who the hell are you? How dare you hit my woman in public? You've got a death wish. Seeing the situation turn bad, the three of us rushed out quickly. Don't hit him, Elizabeth shouted, terrified that Alexander might actually get beaten by her father. Her father had trained in Sanda for several years and had some martial arts skills. Alexander was no match for him. Seeing Elizabeth, her father showed no remorse, but instead vented his humiliation and anger at being caught onto her. You brought them here. Whose daughter? Are you really taking sides against your own family? I'll teach you a lesson today so you know who's your daddy. Elizabeth was just a girl, hardly a match for him. In the blink of an eye, her father's fist came crashing down on Elizabeth. Samuel rushed out from nowhere, taking the punch meant for Elizabeth. 12 Alexander snapped out of it and rushed to help counterattack. The three of them started brawling. Seeing that they were no match for Elizabeth's dad, I quickly stepped in to break up the fight. Hey, you! A fist came swinging at my head. My nose is bleeding again. My head feels a little dizzy too. Everything looked blurry and doubled. I covered my nose and sat down to catch my breath. Claire, are you okay? Alexander was worried about me and rushed over to check on my injuries. It's nothing, I said through gritted teeth, my vision already darkening from the pain. At the center of the battle, Samuel was the only boy left completely at a disadvantage. He was elbowed to the ground, knocked unconscious. Elizabeth rushed forward in a panic, cradling his head in her arms as she sobbed. Samuel, where are you hurt? Samuel, wake up. Where are you hurt? Don't scare me like this. She frantically checked Samuel's injuries, pulling open his coat. She was shocked to discover that Samuel didn't have a single patch of unblemished skin. Old and new wounds covered him densely. Chilling, terrifying scars covered his entire chest. Even Elizabeth's father was stunned. Both Samuel and I ended up in the hospital. Fortunately, Samuel just hit his head and was temporarily unconscious. He woke up fine with no lasting issues. The injuries on his body were from years of accumulated domestic abuse by his father. His father was a gambler with violent tendencies. After losing money, he would go home and vent his anger by hanging him up and whipping him. You little bastard, spending my money and ruining my luck. I'll beat you to death. Elizabeth couldn't hold back her tears as she looked at these wounds. This isn't a father, this is a demon. After a long silence, Samuel finally spoke softly. That's why I said I don't deserve you. I was born in the swamp with festering filthy wounds. You shine so brightly, like a star in the sky. You shouldn't be with someone like me. Elizabeth shook her head tearfully. No, you shine just as bright. You're so outstanding, always ranking first in every exam. Your future is limitless. I'll go report this to the police. Once they arrest him, you'll be safe. Samuel felt particularly flustered when faced with the girl's tears. His hands trembled as he wanted to wipe away her tears, but in the end, he only dared to hand her a tissue. But he stopped her from calling the police. He knew domestic violence cases were usually resolved through mediation. Even if she insisted on pressing charges without injuries classified as minor or more severe, it would only result in a few days of detention. I'll handle this matter properly, don't worry, Samuel promised confidently. At that very moment, he seemed to have made some kind of resolution. A resolution to completely break free from his family of origin and strive for a better future. Meanwhile, in the hospital room, I remained drowsy and lethargic. Grandma was beside herself with worry, her clothes soaked with tears as she paced back and forth, hunched over and muttering to herself. God bless, God bless. Don't worry, Grandma, Clara will be fine, Alexander reassured her. Alexander, Elizabeth, and Samuel had arrived. With only a few months left before the college entrance exams, they didn't have much time to spare, yet they stubbornly made time to visit me. Seeing my classmate, Grandma couldn't hold back her tears any longer. She crouched on the ground, at first only weeping quietly. Then she began wailing uncontrollably. Poor Clara had a hard life. Her no good father ran off with another woman before she was even 1 year old, and he has never come back all these years. She was diagnosed with leukemia in elementary school, and her mother abandoned her too. All these years I've taken her everywhere seeking treatment, but still, she is still so young, only 18 years old. At first it was just Grandma crying, but soon all three of them were weeping together. Listening to this breaks my heart. I desperately want to get up and comfort Grandma, to tell her not to cry, not to be afraid. To tell her that if I'm gone she can finally rest properly. These years of dragging me around everywhere have been so hard on her. But I truly didn't have the strength to open my eyes, nor could I speak. During better moments, I could regain consciousness. Later, Alexander told me by the hospital bed. The scandal of Elizabeth's father having an affair with his stepmother became known to everyone in both the Shun and Jiang families. Alexander's father raised his hand and slapped the stepmother across the face. You filthy whore, I gave you food and shelter, and you dare cuckold me. That child in your belly must be some bastard spawn. The stepmother, who got slapped, also flew into a rage and started screaming hysterically. Yes, so what if my child is old Shaness? Take a look at yourself. First, you can barely last a minute or two each time, and you still expect me to get pregnant. Old Shin may be around your age, but he exercises regularly and is 10 times the man you'll ever be. These words completely enraged Alexander's father. He pinned the stepmother to the ground and began violently beating her with punches and kicks. Stop hitting me, it hurts. I was wrong, old Jiang, I was wrong. If not for the last shred of his remaining reason, the man would have been beaten to death. In the end, the stepmother, covered in injuries, was sent to the hospital. Though the child was saved, it was born prematurely. The paternity test confirmed that the child was indeed not Alexander's father's. Alexander's father filed for divorce, and his stepmother was kicked out of the house along with her frail, premature baby. Ironically, because of this, Alexander, who had been neglected for years, finally received his father's attention again. His father, feeling guilty, kept trying to make it up to him. But Alexander had already grown up. He no longer needed his father's love. Elizabeth's father was also in a complete mess. The mistress's pregnancy was undeniable proof, leaving no room for him to deny the affair. Elizabeth's father was originally a phoenix man, a man who climbed the social ladder through marriage, and everything he now possessed came entirely from the support of Elizabeth's maternal grandfather's family. When this came to light, Elizabeth's mother was heartbroken and immediately filed for divorce. Elizabeth's grandfather held all the power again, and her father was no match for him. As the guilty party, it was only natural he left with nothing. Elizabeth had been raised by her mother all along and shared a deep bond with her. With her father's long-term absence, this divorce had virtually no impact on Elizabeth. After the divorce, Mom Elizabeth became much more cheerful. Life for the mother and daughter grew happier by the day. However, Alexander mentioned that Elizabeth's father had gotten back together with his new wife. But poverty-stricken couples face sorrows in all matters, and it's always hard to go from luxury to frugality. Moreover, being over 50 years old, he had to take care of 2 sons, one older and one younger. After moving in together, the two of them argued constantly, and their lives became a complete mess. 15 some time later, Alexander and Elizabeth came to see me again. This time they brought study materials. Alexander thoughtfully opened the textbook for me. The college entrance exam is coming soon. Just focus on studying here in the hospital. Once you recover, we'll get into the same university together. How awesome would that be? Elizabeth sat beside me. You should be secretly thrilled that the second-ranked student in our grade is tutoring you. I don't want to study anymore. I pushed the textbook away. I don't even know if I'll live to see the college entrance exams. I'm already a poor student. No point torturing myself. Elizabeth patiently persuaded me. Clara, be good. Besides, the doctor said your condition has improved. With proper post-surgery care, you can live for many more years. I smiled. Riley, stop lying to me. I know I have less than 2 months left. Alexander grew slightly agitated. Who said you only have 2 months? Most people who die from illness scare themselves to death first. I'm going to study medicine. You hang in there for me. When I graduate, I'll save you. Elizabeth also said, Samuel, and I will study medicine too. We're both top students. You just hold on. We'll definitely save you. I was so moved, I didn't know how to thank them. But I couldn't bring myself to say anything too sentimental, so I just changed the subject. By the way, where's Samuel? At the mention of Samuel, the two of them hesitated and stammered. Finally, they confessed to me. Samuel is in the ward next door now. His father beat him again, and this time the injuries are really serious. How did you get beaten up again? I asked with concern. Elizabeth reassured me. It's all right this time. He actually did it on purpose. Samuel sold everything of value in the house and saved the money. Truth be told, it wasn't too much. His father's a gambler, drowning in debt. Their home was already dirt poor to begin with. After returning home, his father found that there was nothing left in the house. Even the pots and pans had been sold. He immediately flew into a rage. As expected, he gave Samuel another brutal beating. But what he didn't know was that Samuel had installed cameras at home. Throughout the beating, Samuel kept provoking his father with words, making his father hit harder and harder. In the end, Samuel had 3 ribs broken and was covered in blood from head to toe. Samuel was unusually excited. He immediately called the police and after a hospital examination confirmed his injuries were above the minor level. His father couldn't deny the evidence and was eventually taken away by the police, sentenced to 3 years. Samuel said he could study in the hospital. The few $1,000s from selling the family property would cover his medical expenses. After the college entrance exams, he planned to work to earn tuition and continue working while studying in university. He did find a way to support himself. His father never knew where he went to study. 3 years later, when released, he could no longer find him. This home, he would never return to it in this lifetime. He is such a fool, using this self-destructive method to achieve complete liberation. As she finished speaking, Elizabeth's eyes were already brimming with tears. Hearing this, my heart was a tumult of mixed emotions, but I couldn't help but deeply admire Samuel's willpower. 16. Ever since learning about my illness, Alexander hasn't skipped a single class. He studied desperately, as if nothing could shake his determination to succeed. On the eve of the college entrance exam, my condition worsened. The doctor issued several critical condition notices. Just before losing consciousness, I struggled to pull out my phone and saw the message Alexander had sent me. Clara, I scored 580 on the mock exam. I've been working really hard lately, and I'm sure I'll do even better on the actual college entrance exam. I'll definitely get into medical school. Hang in there, wait for me. I smiled sincerely, wanting to type, but lacked the strength. Could only use voice to text. I've been feeling much better these days. I should be able to wait until you graduate. You can do it. After sending the message, my hand could no longer hold onto the phone. It clattered to the ground. My eyes also grew heavy and closed. Doctor. The patient's heartbeat is irregular, breathing is abnormal, prepare for emergency treatment. I died. After death, my soul drifted in the air. I watched as Grandma, defying everyone's objections, buried me in our ancestral grave. Alexander really made us proud, unexpectedly scoring 600 points on the college entrance exam. For someone who'd been at the bottom of the class for years, it was nothing short of a miracle. He cried until his eyes were swollen, sobbing while complaining.
Didn't you say you'd wait for me?
I jolted upright from my near-death slumber. What? I wanted to wipe away his tears and tell him don't cry, silly, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't reach him. He still applied to medical school the moment he held the acceptance letter in his hands. He said with unwavering determination, "In the future, I will definitely conquer leukemia." Samuel was the top scorer in the province, and Elizabeth came in second. Two top students, both applying to prestigious universities, are destined for bright and brilliant futures. I am genuinely happy for them. As for Grandma, she was somewhat surprised upon receiving her first pension payment. Grandma rushed to the town's bank to inquire. The bank informed her about the deposits I had made for her and the pension insurance I had purchased. She called to inquire with the creditors, who all confirmed that I had long since repaid the debts. Coming out of the bank, Grandma's hunched figure seemed even more haggard. She sat alone on the steps for a long time before finally bursting into loud sobs. But not far away, Alexander, Elizabeth, and Samuel were walking toward her. "Grandma, let us talk about it when we get home." "Yes, Grandma, let us go home." At that moment, a voice also whispered in my ear, "Clara, it's time. Let us go be reborn." The end.